Now that was an exciting day. I'll tell you what, we're going to talk about what Jerome Powell said, what it means going forward from here, what other catalysts we have to look forward to, and I'm also going to detail some charts for you in this video. And I also want to tell you about the options workshop that I have coming up. I'll talk zero DTEs in this video because they go along with some of the options trading. Now this is a beginner's workshop, but exactly what I have to say in this would go along with the zero DTE trading that I do, sometimes live over in the Discord with Stock Mo. Links in the description for the Discord, code word doctor for that. For this workshop, links also in the description. Code word LEARN, L-E-A-R-N, is going to get you the deepest discount when you sign up for this workshop. Zero to effective options trading. You can scroll through the different things that are offered in there. A live community goes along with this as well. Live for 60 days. You get to ask all your questions, get them answered, find opportunities, really detail that nuance and have community support around you. And then also, if you're interested in the bundle, there's the Dr. Stock option bundle, 6 seats left for that. I'm sorry, just about the workshop itself. 2 left in the bundle, so get them. They're going quick. Mo's technical workshop, crypto wills workshop. These 3 are all in that bundle. Code word SAVE for the bundle is going to save you the most there. So it's LEARN, L-E-A-R-N for mine. S-A-V-E for the bundle for all 3 workshops. Mine's tomorrow, 23rd at 2 p.m. August 23rd at 2 p.m. And then August 24th for Mo and Will. You can find the dates on the website when you click those links down in the description. Guys, let's get into the charts and we'll comment, we'll detail throughout what exactly Jerome Powell said that I think really has this market going in the direction that it is and where it could continue from here. So let me bring that down and we'll pop the cues up there for you. There we are. So first of all, we had this indecisive, this doji. Which way does it go, G? We don't know, G. That was what I said yesterday. Today we know. Now, mind you, yes, I know that this spinning top, doji, narrow, whatever, a little bit too fat to be a doji, a little bit too skinny to be spinning top. I like it either way. It's indecision. Today we got that decision made for us. We closed up above the 13, the 5, and the 20. That's a good thing. RSI above 55. Now, Jerome Powell came out and said, it's probably time that we do some cutting. Now, mind you, he also said it'd be report dependent, but putting it out there that easy monetary policy is coming on our way, that inflation is expected to have some one-time impacts. Now, even if that does take a span of time for that one-time impact for tariff-based inflation, he expects it to be one time and then done. And then it's more to, okay, well, what about the labor market concerns? Now, mind you, the market will have labor market concerns, but I'll tell you this, until it comes out in the hard data, the market's probably going to party on. Now, let's put this up here, and we will talk about those concerns coming up, one of which, of course, is the labor market. Watch for jolts. Watch for non-farm payrolls. We have GDP's second estimate coming up, I think, this week. As a matter of fact, the next week ahead for us. We'll have GDP's second estimate. We also have personal income and outlays, but a lot of the pressures off of that in terms of inflation based on what Powell said. That is not necessarily the same catalyst unless things are wildly high for that. If they're subdued, that's great. That can be upward pressure. Watch for the personal spending on that, personal savings on the personal income and outlays. That's going to be more telling because we're worried about economic strength and labor market strength at this point. And inflation is pretty much off the table based on what Jerome Powell said, unless we get surprised, unless we get shocked with it. So up is the general direction. We have to watch for 574.63. We also have to watch for 583.32. Sitting on top of each one of those support opens us up. And I will tell you for the Qs, we have room up to 602 to 610 before we really run into resistance. So we could see ourselves north of that 600 number if we're able to keep on climbing. And I think that we will keep on climbing as well as anyone can know. I think that's when it's going to happen. Now, I mentioned zero DTEs, and I got to tell you, I am a school teacher, so I don't always get a chance to trade these things throughout the market day. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I was waiting for that 10 o'clock hour. Now, mind you, this is that 5-minute chart. For me, that trade entry, let me snag a horizontal line here, and we're also going to turn off the magnet. That's going to mess us up. Getting up above, now we'll turn it back on. Getting up above this point right here would have been that time that I would have gone long on this because it took us up above that resistance. We're up above, take it. The stop would have been all the way down here below this one, and we'll also put a horizontal line on that. And you can be a little bit more conservative. You can go down below this if you want to, but that really opens it up wide. Popping up above that with zero DTEs. Let's count the dollar climb that we make with that. We go from 566.54 and just even up to the top of this one is 570. So that's $3.50. That's $350 per zero DTE contract in that climb. I absolutely was ready for that move either way. unfortunately, I was unable to trade it. Now, there was a trade later in the day. I'm going to take down all these moving averages, and I'm going to take down, there we go, and I'm going to put up for you the volume weighted average price, the VWAP for this one. The next trade, let me drop it down to the minute chart. This is one that I was hoping, really hoping, because I missed this first trade of the day, I was really hoping that I would catch the next one that came along, and it was this one right here where we came down. We broke up above VWAP earlier. When you come down to retest it, normally you bounce pretty hard. And so I was watching this thing descend. I watched it at about the time right here, 12:55. I watched us hit about a triple bottom with VWAP just barely to the south. I was like, here it comes, here it comes. Bell rings. Students are on their way. I can't touch it. While I have those students in the class, welcome to the class, getting things going, educating the masses, if you will, the touch happens. This thing bounces wildly. Now, what does that mean when we look at the charts here on a dollar per dollar basis? Now, for me, I was waiting for the trade entry here, and I would have put a reasonable stop on it, giving it a bit of room, maybe taking 20 to 30% hit on something like this. Potentially, if we punch down through, there are better entries. Typically, when you get up above this area right here, wouldn't have been too bad. There's some concerns. It doesn't make for the best trade in terms of historic support and resistance. It'd be more the kind of run that we had leading up to it, that bullish bias, that hard bounce that we normally take off of VWAP, and then should give us some upside off of that. That's what it gave us. So with that entry, with the risks in mind, this thing went from 570.68 all the way up over 573. So another 250, so $250 per contract that would be. I normally do 5 to 10 contracts at a time. So you guys, if you multiply that out, that's like $1,250 to $2,500 in profits off of a trade like that. Now, mind you, I'm not always able to trade these because, like I said, I do have a 9 to 5, and that means that covers a lot of the market hours. But I can still teach people about it because I know to watch for these times. Yes, this looks like hindsight, but if you go and look at our lives, you can watch me in stock mode talk about it as the market is moving, doing the different trades that come along. And I really do know these technicals, and I really know the options that can go along with them. Zero DTEs are just one super high risk. I would not say for the beginner, but it is something that you can put sort of as a goal. Like I would eventually like to have access to that sort of leverage, that sort of trading, that if I knew the technicals well enough and I was able to trade well enough, that as I got good enough at that, the zero DTEs would make sense. Guys, we can certainly help get you there. And so the links for the workshops are down in the description. Technical analysis covered, which you'll see the technicals on here are some of what is covered there. There's more of it too, with moving averages, RSI also along with it, the different volume movements that you have, the volume confirmations. There's a lot that goes into it, and that's why there's coursework surrounding it. There's a link for that in the description too. So you got the workshops this weekend, whether it's mine or the bundle. You also have the Discord where you can go and watch the live trading. You also have a whole ecosystem around you. And then there's also the courses where you can learn in very, very much depth. Very easy to understand, though, technical analysis, technical trading, and trading options with a crypto one that's on the way as well through that coursework. So let's move on from there into SPY. So for that one, what are we looking for? This rising wedge, yeah, that resistance is going to be something for us, but really I'm more interested in the horizontals at this point. With that sort of volume, with this sort of move, up is probably still the general direction. And as long as we sit on top of that 646.50, sit on top of this previous resistance that we have, because right now it's looking like a triple top, 1, 2, 3 touches and get rejected. We were probably always going to reject around there. There's probably a fair amount of profit taking as soon as we tagged that top number, that 646.50, puts us just barely north of these other two candles that's on here. So I do think at this point in time that we have a few days where that new all-time high could be coming our way. IWM I pegged for outperformance, outperforming the SPY, and today it did not disappoint, up almost 4%. We have that inverse head and shoulder price target looking more real than ever of $248 from this inverse head and shoulders. Let's put the weekly chart on here. There we go. And we're going to take down some of these other technicals so that you can really see it on your screen. There we go. And we'll even take down the moving averages. You're going to see it even clearer in a moment here. There it is. Inverse head and shoulders. Price target up here, 248. Guys, we are like in the post market here, $13 away from seeing that come to fruition. So moving over to Bitcoin. Bitcoin could continue upward from here. It's up against resistance right now. I considered making this trade as the market came to a close, but there's way too much resistance at the bottom of this trading range. I'm just going to sit out. I'm going to watch for the weekend, and I was going to do some options plays through IBIT, but then I was like, I don't want to sweat the weekend risk. There's too much going on. The real show stealer, though, is Ethereum, up 14% as I record this. And let me show you this, guys. I know that's messy, but let's look just up here to the top of this. We have a whole lot of Fibonacci retracements here and also some pivots. It's going to be tough to get on top of that. But if we can, we're going to see that $5,000 price tag as soon as this weekend, and we don't really get that same convergence until we get up here closer to the $5,300 per ETH coming for us. And we might see a little bit of rest before that happens. We might retrace from this a little bit on the top because that is a whole big tangle. Maybe it tags back to 46.86, maybe to 43.66. I think it has that movement. It could smash through from where we're at right now. SoFi back up at 25. Man, sitting on top 24.91 is going to be huge. If it can definitely go higher. We'll call it sitting on top of 25. It can go higher, maybe up to 28. If it doesn't sit on top of 25, it gets rejected anyway. We're probably going to see it rip back down pretty heavily. This is a good little structure that we have here, by the way. It was nice to close up as high as we did. That's our highest close either ever or in a very long time for SoFi. There you go. Very long time for SoFi. Since going all the way back, looks like maybe to its SPAC days as we look back to SoFi. Restoration Hardware, nice little pop back up to 243. Likely going to continue that movement. We're going to have to watch and see. Now, guys, for the next catalyst for the market, that's right, it's our friend NVIDIA. NVIDIA has the clout in the markets that if earnings go sour for them for some reason, that they're not well received, the market's not going to like that because there's a lot of AI pricing that's in it. It's not expected, but I have to say it. If the market loves what NVIDIA has to say and it pushes it up to being a $5 trillion market cap, that gives the market itself, the overall market bias is going to get that push to go extra volatile to the north, most likely in the near term on that. It can be spoiled maybe by some weak GDP revisions. It can be spoiled maybe by something super surprising from inflation from PCE on the Friday that follows. It can be spoiled by non-farm payrolls, jolts. It can also be bolstered by those things if they turn out to be nothing. So we are in like a super critical, exciting time right now where we could push quite a bit higher now before we turn back around. Please remember that September is normally pretty dumpy for us. We absolutely have to pay attention to those catalysts. NVIDIA earnings, inflation, GDP, and then job report numbers. Those are the biggest things that we have coming our way. Inflation is only a downward pressure if it really surprises heavily to the upside, as per what Jerome Powell has been saying for us, that really it's going to be an overtime thing, I think, was where he actually kind of gave us a window, gave us some reprieve of experiencing some high numbers in the near term from the market from inflation. Still going to hurt things like TMF. Those long-dated treasuries aren't going to like inflation very much at all. So if we see that, they're probably going to push down quite a bit harder. And it could still push down in the markets a little bit, just not as heavily. It's not as going to be as much of a quick jerking feeling by having somewhat high inflation numbers come out of it. So guys, that's the commentary that I have for you the video. I still am very bullish on the movements that we've seen. We have some concerns and considerations that we absolutely want to put out there. And also, guys, options, when I can trade them, man, I'll tell you what, they can absolutely be money, but you got to know the risks that go along with trading those options, but you also need to know the power that goes along with them as well. When done responsibly, you can really amplify your portfolio with some serious alpha. We have an expert panelist over at the Discord that can help you out with that. I have my options workshop coming up tomorrow, August 23rd at 2 p.m. Come on over, limited number of seating available, but make sure that you get your spot in there. Make sure you use code word LEARN so you get the deepest discount possible. If you take the bundle, use code word SAVE. That's going to get you the deepest discount possible. And then when you sign up for the Discord, use code word doctor. And if you do happen to take those courses on technical analysis or options, code word doctor also works on those. And there is a bundle discount that goes along with those as well, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great weekend. Hope to see you Saturday. Hope to see you in the Discord. Otherwise, I'll see you back here on YouTube. I am Dr. Stock, Doctor of Education. Remember, my friends, that learning is earning. And we'll see you next video.